Hello there, loves. In honor of October being National Menopause Month, and also October 18th is World Menopause Day, I thought I would do a yoga practice with a few poses, a short practice. And then along with that, I thought maybe I'll do a little kind of get to know me video prior to the practice. So I invite you, if you don't want to listen to this part of the video, you can just fast forward onto the actual practice, and I will meet you there on your mat. Otherwise, just wanted to share with you kind of my journey of menopause and where I'm at right now. I am 54, so I've been in menopause now for the last 4 years. And I started my journey of peri-menopause around 45. And I have gone through a lot, as I know most of us women do as we're going through this change. And I just really want to acknowledge where we're at, right now, as far as communication and sharing and the information that's out there for us. Many years ago, they didn't even talk about menopause, or me have even not really even known, exactly what was going on with women's bodies. They were going through this change. And nowadays we have so much information available to us, which can be a good thing and can also be an overwhelming matter. As you know, I'll just speak for myself, tend to do a lot of research, Google this, Google that, and then just kind of get bombarded with, an over amount of information, and then just trying to figure out what's the right thing to do for my body, and like the right thing to do for your body. But that's really what I've come to learn through this journey, is that my body functions so much differently than, another one of my girlfriend's bodies that's also going through the change. And just giving a quick shout out to a lot of my girlfriends that we are all about the same age and are going through menopause, and such a blessing to have the support and just that group connection. So I hope you have that as well. And if not, to maybe reach out, find a support group, because this can be very challenging. And I know a lot of women also are really resistant to it, not wanting to accept the fact that they're going through this change, and just to be in a spiritual place with that. That's not beneficial at all. As a woman, this is just part of our journey, and it can really kind of kick you in the ass, and you have good days and bad days, but again, it's just part of our journey. So a little bit for me, back when I was about 45, I was really, in the midst of going through perimenopause and having a lot of up and down moods, and just, hot flashes and changes going on in my body. And I didn't want to go, this is just me, not dismissing anybody that chooses to go, through hormone replacement. I went the route of trying out bioidenticals, which is, another hormone replacement, but supposed to be more natural. And I tried that for about a year, and I did see some progress and some support, but also I found that it was every 3 months I would have to go in and get checked, and, my numbers would be up or down, and then I'd have to adjust the bioidenticals, and it was also very costly because that wasn't something that was covered by my insurance. But I did commit to my husband that I would try it out for a year and see how I felt. And then during that time, I also read Sarah Gottfried's book, The Hormone Cure, which is a book I highly recommend. And Christina, I can't remember, Northrup also has a really good, or I think she has a few books on menopause out there. So if you're looking for some book references, those are some great books. But with The Hormone Cure, it's kind of really understanding how foods can affect our hormones, and especially, our cortisol and our thyroid, and just the inflammation that, is held in our bodies, which can trigger additional hormone imbalance. And so for me, I chose to then get off of the bioidenticals and try to do this as naturally as I could. And I have been doing that the last, well, I don't know, 5 years, maybe longer than that. And, I still find my body, of course, because it's still going through the change, fluctuates, from like one season to the next. And it's just learning to adapt with each flow of a new change or a new layer that my body's going through. So some of the things that were really beneficial for me were cutting out alcohol. So that's really triggered my hot flashes. Cutting out caffeine, which I was never a soda drinker, but coffee drinker, yes. And I have gone off of coffee for a while. Coffee is one of my go-tos. I love coffee, but I have gone off of it for, months, and then kind of got myself back on it. And then now I'm just switched to decaf, but I've gone back and forth being on and off coffee because I love coffee. I'm actually got a little cup of decaf right now. Let's show you my little Halloween cup, Hocus Pocus. And it's a pumpkin spice decaf. It's really yummy. Also, getting off of dairy has been beneficial for me. I'm not knocking it for anybody else. Again, you need to learn, what works for your body. And the reason for me getting off the dairy is because I've found that I'm naturally estrogen dominant. So consuming dairy, consuming soy, and other types of like nuts that are estrogen or phytoestrogens just really spike up my estrogen. So I have to be really careful with what I eat. And some of, I'll just be completely honest with you, like some of the changes that I went through, really realizing my estrogen dominance was my boobs just got, would just get bigger and hurt constantly. And, just putting on extra weight around my midriff and my hips. I'm already kind of naturally curvy because I have a little estrogen dominance in me. So when I eat foods that are phytoestrogen, then that just elevates my estrogen in my body. And then I got to work through flushing that out. And what else? Cutting out sugar. I like sugar too, but I really do my best to not eat it all the time. Or you got to be careful too, because sugar is like in everything. Meat. I'm not a big meat eater anyway, so that wasn't really a hard one for me to cut out. But again, like meat has a lot of estrogen in it, so be careful with that. And what else? Some other changes that I've found going through is like my eyebrows have, they're super thin. Thank goodness I've been learning how to, they look really enhanced right now, but how to fill in the eyebrows. I think it's just so sad that we women, we lose our eyebrows, and, other things going on in the body, things drying up, and I'm just amazed how our body goes through this change, just all on its own. And just doing my best to embrace it, and really want to, teach other women to do that as well. When we resist, it persists. And so just coming to a place of just loving where you're at, doing your best to get through this change, and just, love yourself through it. I would like to share a friend of mine who is an educator on menopause. Her name is Anne, and she has I'm going to link it below, a website and an Instagram channel, Essential Anne. and she is one of my goddess sisters, and also has just been a great guru and teacher through oh gosh, it's been part of my life the last 12, 15 years. I'm not sure. It's been a while. But going through other changes as well. But it was really been beneficial for me during menopause. So, Anne, just want to send you out some love. And anyway, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this little sharing of mine. And I wish you the best through your journey through menopause. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave that below. I'd love to communicate with you. All right, I will see you on your mat. Hi, ladies. Welcome to your menopause practice. The purpose of me creating this class and these particular poses are to really help calm the body down. So, as we're going through menopause, we are often having lots of hot flashes or just imbalances, throughout the body. And these yin practices are to support, calm, and soothe the body, soothe the parasympathetic system, and also the cortisol, and just bring the hormones into balance. So as you just begin to slow down and breathe through the poses, and just really focus on this time for yourself to soothe everything. So soothe the mind, soothe the body, soothe the hormones, and just allow yourself this time. These poses you can do, later on you can choose to maybe just do one. You don't have to do all of them at the same time. That's kind of why I'm doing these particular poses that we'll be doing. And also bringing in some pranayama. We'll be practicing 2 different breathing techniques, which are both great for hormone balance and for cooling the body down. Our props that we'll be needing are a yoga bolster or some sort of a firm cushion, a yoga block, and a blanket of some sort. And before we get started, I have some affirmations that I want to bring into our practice, but I want to read them now. 2 of them are kind of funny, and I thought just perfect for our practice because menopause doesn't need to be all serious, right? We get to have not have fun, but make fun of this journey because we're going through it anyway. Whether we try to resist it or not, we're going to be going through it, and we might as well be lighthearted about it. That's what I should say, lighthearted. So one mantra is, I accept that I am drenched in sweat, but this too shall pass. My face and body are burning up. Cool breeze, just mindfully thinking cool breeze to cool you down. And then one to really just kind of bring us into the truth of what we're going through is, I realize my body must go through this change. I will love and nurture myself through this process. So we'll just bring those in a few times. And if they, resonate with you, just repeat them back to yourself, or just however you feel that these affirmations or mantras feed your soul and your body. All right, so let's get started in an easy seated pose. I'm going to sit up on one of my blankets here, or not one of my blankets, my blanket. And just to elevate the hips. And just get yourself comfortable. Either the ankles can be crossed, you can be sitting on a block, whatever feels most comfortable for you here. And just feel yourself kind of rooted down through the sit bones. Let's just rest the hands on the knees or on the thighs. Lengthening up nice and tall through the spine. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, let the shoulders soften. So as the shoulders soften, we don't want to begin to hunch through the spine. We still want to keep our length nice and tall. We just want to allow the shoulders to soften. Let's just take 3 rounds of cleansing breath here. Inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Once again, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Let the hands soften. Let the arms soften. The legs, the feet, the facial muscles. Just returning to your breath. Allowing the body to cool down. Let's take one more breath here. Open mouth, exhale. Slowly opening the eyes. Good. So our first pranayama is going to be Sitali, which is also known as the cooling breath. Now there's 3 different techniques that you can do utilizing the mouth and the tongue. The first one is where you curl the tongue, or they call it taco tongue. I am not the best at doing this, but I'll just demonstrate the best that I can. So you would stick out your tongue and then curl the tongue. And then you're going to inhale. And then on the exhale, you'll close the mouth and exhale out the nose. So if you can curl your tongue, that's the best way to do it. If you can't curl your tongue, the other option is you're going to, as though you're sucking in through a straw. So, and then on the exhale, you'll close the mouth, gently closing the lips and exhaling out the nose. The other option is you'll hiss through the teeth, so as though you're smiling and then hissing through the teeth and then closing the mouth and exhaling out the nose. So maybe kind of play around with which one feels most comfortable for you, where you're not having to give it a lot of thought. I know the curling the tongue for me just takes too much concentration. So I prefer the puckering of the lips as sucking through the straw. So we'll just take a few rounds of that. And as we do that, what I really want you to pay attention to is the cooling of the breath and then how it cools your body down. So let's take 5 rounds of that. Inhaling as long as you can, and then exhaling as long as you can. And focus on breathing all the way down into the belly. And then as you exhale, you're exhaling through the belly. So as gently bringing that belly button towards the back of the spine, trying to expel all that air out through the nose. All right, let's take a few more rounds. Last breath. Just taking a few breaths here. Noticing any sensations. You really want to take this nice and slow because I do believe this can kind of bring some lightheadedness on. I know in myself when I practice it and I do the breaths kind of quick, I get a little lightheaded. So it's a great cooling technique. You just get to be mindful, tuning into your body. Let's take one more breath here. Open mouth, exhale. And gently opening the eyes. Good. So that's a pranayama that you can practice anywhere at any time. You know, not even if you're necessarily having a hot flash, but that you're kind of just heated up in some sort of way, you know, emotionally, physically, and you feel like you just kind of need to bring your temperature down. You know, you can go someplace and take a few cooling breaths just like that. All right, let's switch the crossing of our legs. So bringing whichever foot was in front of you which was in closest to you out in front. And we'll take some Sufi rolls here, which are really good for working the hips and working the whole womb area. So just bringing the hands to the knees, take an inhale, rock yourself forward. And then as you exhale, coming back, really rounding through the spine, you can bring the chin into the chest. Inhale, reach the heart forward. And then exhale, bringing it around. Inhaling through the nose. And let's take an exhale out the mouth. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good, just taking a few more. And then reversing, going the other way. Just tuning in here to any sounds that you may be hearing. Any crunching or popping or grinding. Also feeling how the hips are responding to this flow. Good, let's take one more. Coming back to center. Let the shoulders soften. Take 2 breaths here, tuning in. Tuning into how the body's feeling. Last breath. Open mouth, exhale. Opening the eyes. Now maybe with those Sufi rolls, when you've completed them, you feel a sensation of heat occurring. And that could just be that you've had some stagnant energy going on in the hips or in the womb area or in the lower back. And it's just opening up and releasing. You may feel a cooling sensation, which is, you know, just another part of the body releasing, but it's coming into this calm state. All right, so let's move on to just a few shoulder rolls. Take an inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, and then as you exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Just taking some nice slow movements here, releasing any tension or stress held in the shoulders. And then reversing, going the other way. Good. And then just soften the shoulders back down. From here, we'll come into some neck release, which is really good to work the thyroid. Or not to work the thyroid, but to just kind of soothe the thyroid. So let's take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. As you exhale, bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Let that left shoulder press down a little more. Feel that full stretch on that left side of the neck. And then kind of play around with the positioning of your chin, where you feel the juiciest and deepest stretch for your body here. And then just take 3 breaths here. Last breath. Good, and then we'll send that chin towards that right shoulder, getting a different stretch here in the back side of the neck. And then slowly bringing the chin all the way to center of chest. Make sure that the spine doesn't begin to round or the shoulders hunch. You want to keep the length through the spine, sitting up nice and tall. Just let the head be heavy so you get into the back of the neck, tops of the shoulders. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Open mouth, exhale. And then just for a little added support for the head, you're going to bring the right palm of the hand to the forehead and using the support of the hand to bring your head back to center. Release that right hand down, just checking in from one side of the neck to the other. And then we'll move our way to the other side. So inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder, taking 3 breaths here, finding the position, what feels best for you. Last breath. And then we'll slowly turn the chin in towards that left shoulder. And then gently bringing the chin back to the center of chest. Taking a full cleansing breath here. Open mouth, exhale. Left heel or palm of the hand comes to the forehead, lifting your head back to center. Releasing that left hand down, taking 2 breaths here. Last breath. Opening the eyes. Very good. From here we will come into Dragonfly, or also known as Straddle. So you can choose to stay on the blanket if you'd like. I'm just going to take mine out from underneath me and I'm going to turn sideways here. So you'll want to grab your bolster or your cushion here and maybe your block. So coming into a wide-legged straddle here. And we want to make sure that our knees and our toes are facing up towards the ceiling, especially as we come into the fold. You want to make sure that they don't roll inward. So with your bolster, just bringing the bolster right here in between the legs. And we're just going to come to fold over, coming into a very nice restorative, supported fold here. So a couple of options. You can just stack your hands, rest the forehead down. Maybe you use the support of the block if you want to elevate your bolster or your cushion. You can just bring the hands to the sides of you. Maybe bring one cheek to the mat, or excuse me, to the cushion. So finding what supports your body here. Just being able to come to a place where you can really just relax. And once you settle there, taking a full cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Send the breath all the way to the belly, to the hips, to the low back. And taking an open mouth exhale. Letting the shoulders soften. Let the legs relax. Notice if the quads or the kneecaps are wanting to engage or lock. Letting those release. Just taking nice, slow, deep breaths here. Bringing in one of our mantras once again. I accept that I am drenched in sweat, but this too shall pass. Hopefully right now you are not having a hot flash or feeling that you are drenched in sweat. If you had one cheek to your mat, or to your bolster. And go ahead and switch it to the other cheek. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Last breath, cleansing, inhale and exhale. And using the support of your hands to bring the upper body back up. You can just slide that bolster out away from you. And then either bringing the hands to the inside of the knees or the outside, just to support bringing them back in towards one another. And we'll come back into an easy seated pose. I'm just going to turn to face you. Coming into our second pranayama, which is alternate nostril breathing. This practice is a great way to balance both the left side and right side of the body as well as the brain. So you just leave your left hand facing down. Bring your right hand up. We're going to bring in the index and middle finger. So you'll have your pinky and your ring finger up and your thumb. Bringing that thumb to the right nostril. You'll inhale through that. I'm just going to use this hand for demonstration. You'll inhale through that left nostril. Let's do for the count of 4. And then you'll close off that left nostril with the ring finger. Exhale out that right nostril for 4. And then we'll inhale through the right nostril for 4. Closing off the right nostril with the thumb, and then exhaling out the left nostril for 4. And each time that we exhale out that left nostril, that's considered 1 round. So let's take 4 rounds. I'll talk you through the first one, actually the first 2, and then you'll do 2 on your own. Okay, let's go. Inhaling for 4. Closing off that left nostril, exhaling out the right nostril for 4. Inhaling through the right nostril for 4. Closing off that right nostril, exhaling out the left nostril for 4. Inhaling for 4. Closing off that left nostril, exhaling out the right nostril for 4. Inhale for 4. Closing off that right nostril, exhaling out the left for 4. 2 breaths on your own. When you finish that last round, just bring that right hand to the knee. Just taking a few natural breaths here. Noticing how the body's feeling. Noticing your breath. Last breath here. And take an open mouth exhale. And gently opening the eyes. Very nice. From here, we'll come into a supported child's pose. So you can just come onto your hands and knees. And then you'll want to have your bolster or your cushion handy once again. So you can bring the big toes to touch, widen the knees as much as comfortable, and then send those hips right back towards the heels. And then bring the bolster in a little closer to you. And then just come to fold over the bolster. From here you can bring one cheek, letting the arms just rest on the side. Make sure my mic's okay here. Excuse me. Let the hips be really heavy towards the heels. Let the shoulders soften, the upper back release. And we'll take 4 breaths here on this cheek. And then switching to the other cheek for 4 breaths. Last breath. And just gliding the hands back towards you, using your hands to support lifting the upper body back up. And you can just slide that bolster out away from you. Maybe walk the knees and thighs in towards one another, and then we'll just kind of shift over to one hip to swing the legs around. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs from here. So you can have your block handy and your blanket. I'll just bring both of my props out here. So we'll lower on down nice and easy to our backs. And once you get here, just bring the knees into the chest and take a few rocks side to side, massaging the lower back. Good. And then lowering the feet back to your mat. We'll come into a supported bridge. So walk your heels in as close as to your hips as you can. And then we're going to take an inhale, fill the belly up. As you exhale, begin to pull that belly button towards the back of the spine. As you do that, curl your tailbone up, pressing into the heels, and lift your hips up. And then you'll place the block at the lowest level underneath the hips, underneath the sacrum, so you don't want it right underneath your low back. So you want it underneath the hips here. And then just let the hips release. Let them get heavy, sinking down into the block. Let the glutes release. Now, if you'd like a little support under the head, you can use your blanket underneath the head. And then just bringing the arms either out to the side, palms facing up, or maybe in cactus. Or you could even bring them up over your head. So just finding a place where the body can be soothed, supported, and have a space to be at ease. And taking a big breath through the nose to the belly. And as you exhale, let the belly soften. Let the low back release, the hips, the glutes, the neck. And taking a few more breaths here, I'll just read one of our mantras again. My face and body are burning up. Cool breeze, cool breeze. Right now, I'm sure your body is very soothed and is very cooled down. You can just continue to think, a cool breeze, cool breeze. Mind over matter, right? And let's take one more breath here. Big cleansing inhale and exhale. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Then wherever you had your hands, just bring them into the body. We're going to very slowly bring the knees in towards our chest. I'm going to take my blanket out from underneath my head here. Good. Just let the knees and the legs get really heavy, falling in towards you. You feel this nice opening stretch through the low back. Taking one more breath here. And then from here we'll come into Waterfall Pose. So just extend the legs all the way up, feet towards the sky or towards the ceiling. Letting yourself be supported on the block. Might feel good to do a little point and flex through the feet. Rotate through the ankles. And then just come to a place of stillness. Taking 3 breaths here. Big breath into the belly. As you exhale, let the belly soften, the low back release. Feel your upper back sink down even more. And 2 more breaths. Last breath. Open mouth, exhale. And very slowly bending the knees. And then we'll lower our feet back to the mat. And we'll transition off of our block. So pressing into the heels, lift the hips, take the block out from underneath you, and then just hold here for 1 breath. And then lower down very slowly, upper back, mid back, lower back, hips, and let the back just release. Taking a full breath here. Open mouth, exhale. Very slowly bringing the knees back into the chest. Taking a few rocks here, side to side. And then giving yourself a big squeeze, really hug the knees in. Taking a full breath. Open mouth, exhale. And then releasing the arms, lowering your feet down. We'll make our way into Shavasana. Taking up lots of space here. Taking a few rounds of cleansing breath. And just allow your whole body to be soothed, to be at ease. And bringing in our last mantra. I realize my body must go through this change. I will love and nurture myself through this process. And just allow yourself to be loved right here, right now. Honoring your body and all that it does for you every day. I invite you to stay here as long as feels good for you. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope this practice offered your body, your mind, and your soul just what it needed today. Namaste.